In this video, I will talk about the 3 seasons of Egyptian agriculture: the flooding season, or Aket, the growing season, or Peret, and the harvest season, or Shamu. The first season I will talk about is called Aket. Aket was the flooding season when the Nile would overflow its banks. Farms were built all around the Nile because of this. The flooding season lasts 3 to 4 months between June and September. When the Nile River overflowed, it could flood its banks for 6 miles on each side. This created a 12-mile strip that was fertile with silt and minerals, perfect for farming. The floods were very unpredictable. Sometimes the water could rise to 45 feet deep. The Egyptians invented a lot of new ways to irrigate. One important one was called basin irrigation. In basin irrigation, clay walls were constructed around farms. These clay walls held the water in place for longer so that it could soak into the soil and make land richer for farming. A second Egyptian agriculture season is called Peret. This was the growing season and when the planting took place. The growing season lasted from October to February, and most of the community participated. The first step was to dig troughs in the fields. This was handled using a plow. Sometimes the fields were plowed by hand. Sometimes oxen were used to pull the plow. Once the fields were plowed, women and children would plant the seeds by hand. The Egyptians planted a wide variety of things. Probably the most important were the grains, such as wheat and barley. They also planted a lot of different fruits, such as figs, check out my Fruit Ninja action, pomegranate, and melons. Two other important crops were flax, which was a very strong thick leaf, and papyrus. Another really cool Egyptian invention is the shaduf, which is a lever with a weight at one end and a bucket at the other. They can use this to move water from the river or a reservoir onto the crops. The third and final season of the Egyptian agricultural year is called Shamu. Shamu is the harvesting season, when the crops were picked or cut down. This season lasted from March until May. A tool that was often used for harvesting grains was the sickle. Farmers would swing a sharp blade to cut the strong wheat stalks. After the plants were cut, animals were often used to carry them from the field. They were then thrown onto a flat surface and, get this, donkeys would walk around on the stalks to crush out the grain. Then women would separate the grain from a straw and carry it to the storage bins where it was saved for other seasons. The harvested wheat was used to make bread and beer. The harvested flax was used to make linen, rope, and sandals. The harvested papyrus was used to make paper, and the root was boiled into an edible mush. Now we've gone through the entire Egyptian agricultural year. I hope my little stop motion movie has helped you learn something cool about Egypt. Now I have to go.